This is from Daily Beast, Justin Baragona, who reports, more than a week after CNN's disastrous town hall with Trump, the negative impact the fiasco had on the network's ratings is coming into clearer focus. Last week, CNN suffered its lowest rated week since June 2015. That was right around when they started to take Trump nonstop at every campaign rally to drive their numbers up, averaging just 429,000 total daily viewers. 429, that should be their demo. That shouldn't be their overall number. They're not even cracking 500,000 in the overall. CNN was also down double digits compared to the same week last year in both total viewership and in the key demo of 25 to 54. Hold on a second. They talk about the Fox News plummeting, which we've already discussed. Then they talk about Chris Wallace. He's on Friday nights now. They tried him on the weekends. It was terrible. Literally nobody's watching that show. They moved him to Friday night. Chris Wallace averaged 224,000 total viewers. My God, 200. That's so sad. Emily Jashinsky, that's the right face. She's got the sad face on. It's sad. 224,000 and 45,000 in the demo. God, it's the slashy. Abby, it's officially the slashies. I told the audience back on Fox, you'd look at the competition over on MSNBC or wherever, and you'd always kind of snicker when they got down below 50,000 because you don't even, it doesn't show up on the ratings. It's just double slash marks, slashies. It's everyone's worst nightmare. Chris Wallace on CNN is getting slashies in the key demo and also losing to Newsmax. Newsmax is overtaking CNN. True existential crisis, ladies. What do you make of it?
Well, that reminds me of the Harvard-Harris poll we were just talking about, because if you look at Anderson Cooper, Chris Wallace, these are people who have enormous credibility in the corporate press. These are people that get nice profiles written about them, that are taken very seriously in sort of the vaunted corridors of power and the Acela corridor in general. And so that's remarkable that the country is actually rejecting who the corporate press tells them they must take the most seriously. I think that the name of Chris Wallace's show is Who's Talking to Chris Wallace? People can talk all they want. Who's listening to Chris Wallace is actually the real question there. And I think it's with CNN.
You made Abby spit up her drink. She liked that one, EJ.
You're welcome. I'm here all week. But it's the CNN had this like niche audience during the Trump administration. It's like, why was Stephen Colbert the number one late night host during most of the Trump administration, despite being the least funny and the most political? It's the antithesis of the Johnny Carson model. But it's because with cable and streaming, everything is a niche now. And CNN had somewhat of a niche anti-Trump resistance audience like Stephen Colbert did during the Trump administration. Chris Licht comes in and says, we're going to go back to old CNN. People are going to tune into us for Ukraine war coverage that they can trust to be right down the middle. Well, you can try to rebuild an audience, but you're probably going to lose the niche audience that you, the small little niche audience that you had when you're trying to transition back to mass media. It's just not going to work. And that never has panned out for him because he can't, he's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You can't have both. You can't have woke resistance liberals as your audience and then also try to do neutral stuff, because you're going to lose the woke resistance liberals. And then while you're trying to keep them and like stave the bleeding, you're not going to bring in the new viewers.
This is why, Eliana, Jeff Zucker was the grim reaper of CNN. He killed it. They had a more moderate audience. No, it wasn't a huge one, but he drove every right of center viewer away entirely. There's not one still watching that channel. And now Chris Licht comes in to try to win them back over and does something like hosting the leading presidential candidate on the GOP side for a town hall where we might explore his views. And the audience is so angry. What little they had left has totally abandoned them. They're like, no. So how do you build a business? How do you build a media business based on that?
I'm with you. The one exception I would take is that the article you read from the Daily Beast said, basically pinned the audience decline to the hosting of the town hall. I think that's total crap. The audience decline, they've struggled with audience for a long time now. Yeah. And the audience is terrible because the programming is terrible. And Jeff Zucker, in a way, boxed in his successors because, as you guys were talking about, he created a brand. And for Chris Licht, the new CEO and president, to pivot away from that, he can't do it with the same people.
You can't.
Jake Tapper and all those others, they are Don Lemon, those guys are branded as anti-Trump resistance heroes now. You can tell them to be straight news. But like for folks like us who were watching, we remember what they were saying 4 years ago. And for all the Republicans who were treated like crap and stopped going on the network, you need new people. And I think to me, that's where Lick's struggles have been the greatest. Like, who's a new, interesting person who's on the air over there? He's moved Caitlin Collins around to like 5 different shows because she's kind of the only person who's not a lunatic on that network. But other than that, like, he's just shuffling deck chairs around, and there is no, Charles Barkley and Gayle King, like, that's kind of interesting for 1 hour of the entire week. But other than that, like, it is pretty hard to be like, hey, Jake Tapper, you're not a hater anymore. You're going to serve him right down the middle. That's tough.
What about, Wolf Blitzer, Anderson Cooper, Brianna Keilar? My God, she was the biggest hater of all. Not to mention Jim Acosta. Like, they're up and down the lineup still, all the Trump haters. And yeah, you don't have to have that long a memory to remember that they hate not just Trump, but the right half of the country. I'll say a word in defense of Jake Tapper, who I actually like. I think he's left, but I think he's on the left. But I think he at least tries to be fair. I know people don't agree with me, but that's how I see him. Now that it's spring, it's time to get outside and enjoy your backyard. But does your backyard need a makeover just in time for summer? Start with the perfect centerpiece, a Michael Phelps Swim Spa by Master Spas. A Michael Phelps Swim Spa can transform your backyard into an oasis. The swim spa is an alternative to a pool with the therapy of a hot tub. Michael Phelps Swim Spas have a water current, so you can swim, you can do aquatic exercises, and have fun with the kids. And because it's heated, you can choose your perfect water temperature and use it all year long in any climate. Michael Phelps Swim Spas by Master Spas come in a variety of sizes to complement almost any yard, even if it's a small one. And this is not a long, intimidating project. In fact, delivery and installation can take less than a day once your space is ready. Michael Phelps Swim Spas are 100% made in the USA by Master Spas, the world's largest swim spa manufacturer. You will love your Michael Phelps Swim Spa by Master Spas. Go to masterspas.com, put in the promo code MK, and that's going to save you $1,000 on a Michael Phelps Swim Spa or $500 on a Master Spas hot tub. That's masterspas.com, promo code MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.